It's time for the next game in the Ace Attorney series, as well as the next game that was hand-selected by my patrons over on Patreon in Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. So hello everybody, welcome to this game right here. It's good to be back with some Ace Attorney goodness. I do not know what to expect. Let's go. Turnabout Trump. Interesting title here. So yeah, this game was selected by patron Burning Earth Productions. And I had every intention of playing this game this year. So I guess that means I can add on another game in the Ace Attorney series later on. Woo! Miles Edgeworth Investigations. I know that's not the exact name, but whatever. Also, holy crap, animated cutscenes. Heck yes. Showdown time. Why is this so clean, though? You lose. Good day, sir. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Oh my god, new sound effects. Also, yes, I am playing the 3DS version of this game, which was apparently like a sort of remastered port of the original DS game. So yeah, it's pretty great. Panicked, palms sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. I can admit it, I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Who are you? Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, huh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. Overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. And so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Whoa. Good, morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're... Fine! I'm fine! Mr. Fine, is it? I didn't remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. That's a nice little, wordplay there you got going with your name. I like that. I respect that. The court is now in session. My God. Like, not to take anything away from the, HD port of the first 3 games on Steam and, well, every other console as well, but it's like, something about the characters on here just looks better. It's not like they were trying to, like, add a smooth filter to everything. Like, this just looks amazing. Also, Payne's back. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. Ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic.
Too late.
Your name was Mr. Justice? This is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. Just ignore the phone in the background. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience. Fine. Does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see. What? Wow, that was unexpected. Like, all I knew going into this was that for some reason Wright got disbarred. And I was under the impression he, like, went... One moment. That's genuinely the best ringer I could find for my new phone. I should just go ahead and download one. But yeah, I was under the impression that, like, he either got disbarred or retired. And then was sort of, like, living the life, like, away from courts. But then, I guess, like, duty called and he came back, because he does come back to the series. It's not really a spoiler at this point, because he has been on the covers of games. For God's sakes, there was Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton. So, yeah. But, murder trial, huh? Oh, boy. This happens quite a lot to you, huh, Phoenix? Let's put the past behind us, shall we? You also looking a little rough? These days I'm merely Phoenix Wright. Piano player. What? Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. The prosecution will be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne?
To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and I'll see you leave in chains.
Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold.
Customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant? You say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
The Court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Okay. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right! I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right. The court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. Haha, because touchscreen. Victim was a customer at this restaurant. Well, first things first, that's my attorney badge. What are my possessions? How long do I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Why does this look higher def than the freaking Wii ports? This looks so ungodly clean and bright. Alright, the time def was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Crime photo 1. Sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. And grape juice bottle used as murder weapon bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints. Okay, so we got Kristoph Gavin, boss at Gavin Law Offices, first-rate defense attorney. Damn. How long is it? Well, yeah, what, 5 years? If he's 33 now. Pianist, Borscht Bowl Club, ace defense attorney. Shoddy Smith, victim in this case, traveler, only recently back in country. And Payne is 61. Good God. At least he's trying to grow out his hair. But just who was this Shoddy Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
Traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
Wait a minute, let me check something here. Okay. Alright. Was not paying attention initially to stuff. Press start at any time during the game to save your data. Ooh! No, I don't want to return right now. Okay, alright, that'll come in handy. I'm just getting a feel. This is actually my first time recording Ace Attorney game on what is genuinely native hardware. You know, I guess the Wii ports are native since they were like made specifically for the Wii, but they didn't really upscale much. They just added a background to it. Alright, whatever. First met the club that crime. They'd only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing?
That doesn't appear to have been the cause. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Gambling's not illegal.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game. In the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor.
Competition?
Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
That would be our first word this here. Alright, that was a good line from Payne. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. You got this, Bubba. Alright, competition. I'm a pianist by trade, and I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. What? That? Okay. Pianist who can't play piano.
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor.
First cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
Oh my god. It's a figure of speech. Your Justice. Yeah, your voice sounds strained and raspy too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? We just doing a quick search of something. Okay. What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? Yes. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. Yes, teach me. I know nothing. The writing is so good already. Indeed, your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record. I didn't hear anything strange at all in the testimony just now. A good sign that you need to press the witness for more information. Press? Him? Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information. But isn't Mr. Wright my client? Well, think you can do it? Yes, thank you, sir. I think I can do it. I think you'd better, or we're going to have a problem. Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies, Phoenix Wright. As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. The defense may begin the cross-examination. Alright then. What's why? Oh, I can actually say hold it. It ain't even that deep. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes when customers demand it. So I play them one song. It's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. Respectable face I wear for the world at large. Well, does his hat say Papa? Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? Alright. Ooh, and the little UI element telling me what statement I'm on. Okay. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all.
Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw.
I see what he did there.
That is, I'm quite a draw. Wait, you never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction. It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. Black market. All in the past, things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. Smoky room? Gambling hoods? You know? Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watching through the small window. I can practically picture it now. The window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Yeah, this is weird. Why 2 decks? 2 decks of cards. Simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. Oh! Oh, the back of the card is going to be important then. There is something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lines scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. The crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker, you make 5-card hands. You can see how it will be easy to cheat. Heh. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Clearly you haven't seen how salty some Call of Duty players get. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. But you claim no connection to the crime. Now that's strange. What's strange? I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. One moment. Sorry about that extended pause. Gonna have to mute a few seconds prior to that. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not? Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will never say I never touched a murder weapon. Double negatives, my dude. Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. Well, why? It clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great, like I don't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? Oh god. It's so obvious. When you figure it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. Contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony. But why? Better check the court record. Can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in the testimony. It's a little early to be jumping to conclusions. This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. Fine. Alright. It's so freaking obvious. Yeah, because with this, it's the murder weapon, and it has his prints. Ooh. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This grape juice bottle? Right? So I said. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Oh my god, the hair. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excessive yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he... Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. That is a good point. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh, I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything, you'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... Really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see. This is the phone that made the call. Right, cell phone added to the court record. Let's take a quick looky-loo at that. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, the battery's being held in with a piece of tape. You should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it, or he just doesn't care. I've been down that road. Okay, interesting. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you no one is more serious about. What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. Oh my god.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Well, hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I use a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you are sure it is okay.
I cannot do a good Russian accent, I'm sorry. Now, the prosecution. Well, wait a minute. The prosecution care to explain the witness's paraphernalia?
Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga Orly. I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then, why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how is it is said, other service.
I take it one of those other services is taking the customer's pictures?
Da-da.
Oh, no. Da isn't yes. That's how you say yes in Russian.
Da. Like for example, this one.
That's the defendant.
Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
That's German, dang it. Indeed, that is the victim. Order! Oh wait, new person. Let's check them profiles. Olga Orly, 21. Waitress at, in this case, a Russian waitress at the Borscht Bowl Club. Alright. This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually.
And the court will casually accept this new evidence. Olga's photo. Yeah, I wish to check it. Okay.
Now, waitress, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout, we call it.
Excuse me, the hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Is room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Da. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shoddy Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly, our witness. If Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold, both players played with hats on, da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, da. That man flew at victim, and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game? Oh my god.
Isn't it obvious the winner was the victim, Mr. Smith?
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I don't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor. Either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, he had a full house.
Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
I mean yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face.
What?
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Chip photo added to the court record. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Oh, they both had full houses. Okay. But I know, like, I saw one blatant thing, like, there's... Customer asked me to deal cards for game code. Both players play with hats on. Victim plays with time hand on locking at his neck. Last stand is done, but some terrible's happened. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Strangling, you say? No, because his death was caused by a single blow to the forehead. Objection! Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
Normal customers only choke on borscht.
No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head.
Ack!
Miss Orley, really now, did you witness the crime?
Eek!
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Crime photo 2.
But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim his neck.
Oh really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Orley. Oh my freaking god, it's oh really. Oh my god. Orley, oh really. Oh my god. That's both infuriating and amazing at the same time. Justice? I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. Seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. You read my mind? Okay, but this also was interesting. His locket?
I believe it was good luck charm, Da. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket? Well, of course, I knew that. It's probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding?
So, what happened next?
After the defendant tried to strangle the victim, he hit him with a bottle. Hmm. Can I zoom in on this? But there is no locket here. I kind of want to present, but I also don't want to. What would Maya do? Well, not Maya. Mia, I mean. Give me a moment here. Alright, just had to take care of a distraction. You know what? Screw it. There we go. You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But, what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. Because, yeah, we did get that picture from, like, calling out the whole strangle thing. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off. No. Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Huh. Eric? Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes. I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh, come on. Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo. Okay! Of my daughter. Who, when, where, how, and why? Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. Picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
Okay, why would that guy have Phoenix's locket with a picture of his at most 7-year-old daughter in there? So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost. Badly.
Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and defendant.
Da!
Serious competition.
The game began with 3,500 point-in chips for each man. House chips come in 2 sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and I regret what I done. A common tale, but true. He thinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. The game began with 3,000 each man. House chips come in 2 sizes, small and large. One was winning, die was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The one that lost was decided. Defendant grabs bottle from table and... Let's just press on everything, because I got nothing. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Alright. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used?
Duh. Of course.
Something's fishy with these chips. Yeah, press harder. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips?
Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, not a...
Oh my god, they made a chips reference. 80s,
TV? Series with Eric Estrada?
Anyway, thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even?
Yet, as I have been saying before, it was a game, not a gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand.
Hey! I understand completely. Shut your frickin' mouth. Also, holy shit, they were just making a communist reference. Okay,
there are 2 types of chip, 100 points chip and 1000 points chip. It is not money, duh.
Justice? Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony? Yes, of course. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add to the testimony. Wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness. You'll be so kind?
Duh, Your Honor.
What kind of chip is worth 100? Other is worth 1,000. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if the bigger chips are 1,000, then that's 10,000 chips. But if the smaller chips are 1,000, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, like it would be 7,000. So if the smaller chips are worth more, if the smaller chips are 1,000, then Phoenix was winning. So I guess we need to determine, like, the size of the chips? Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why. Mr. Justice? Do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten. Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips.
Duh.
The small ones are 100 and the big one's 1,000. Right? Right? Of course.
Huh. Don't waste our time.
Is that all? Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten, after all. Calculation? Yeah, like, there's no way he was winning. Because no matter what, right? Well, no. No, yeah. Because if the small chips are 1,000 and the bigger chips are 100, then Wright was winning. If the bigger chips are 1,000 and the small chips are 100, then that's impossible. Because that's more than what they were playing with. Objection! You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure. It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten... just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which are worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see, 3 plus 1, carry the 5. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself! You aren't in kindergarten, are you? What's with all the kindergarten jabs? Good lord. Jump cut after a bit of a break. Also, apologies if the audio might sound a bit different. Noticing some weird stuff going on with my mic lately. It's not like the end of the world, and it's like an issue that solves itself, but usually if issues start arising, that means it's not good in the long run. But yeah, it's nothing major. Anyway, do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. Called it, by the way.
But why? How could this be?
Exactly. Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. I mean, the way I see it, you were just wrong in your assumption on what the what the value of the chips were. So we have no reason to believe she was wrong about the chip count, or the starting points, rather, because like I even did the math, and like the other way around, with the smaller chips being worth more, the points do add up, but it proves that Phoenix was winning. So both are right? Each member gained the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness. Utter madness.
Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself.
I did. I figured it out before him.
Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait. The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing.
Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
That's impossible.
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you?
Eek.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony in... Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see, see what, Miss Orley? What do we see?
Or should I just be pronouncing it O'Reilly? Yeah.
In the last hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick?
Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing.
Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are.
Great, just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Alright, the final hand.
The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took a bottle in his hand, poor Mr. Smith.
Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover-up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Gavin? What's a full house?
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker.
I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. Why does he need to know about poker? What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses.
We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
Ahem, the defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Hold up. Yeah, final hand. Here's one ace of each kind. It's an ace, diamond, spade, heart. Or not ace, diamond. Spade, diamond, club, heart. The sevens are all different. The kings are all different. Do they mean you can't see where I'm pointing and it's not making like a mark on the screen, but I see the tip of a card in the lower left corner. And both men have full house, that's indisputable. 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. Yes. Both men's hands cheat is more obvious. Can you care to explain? How is it clear?
Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace.
A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well.
Sorry, just repositioning you in the chair.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's too. Obviously, cheating was afoot, or perhaps I should say, a hand.
Your Honor, perhaps this could be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's jokes. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, Mr. Wright's 2, 5 aces in all. Am I blind? No! What? This is obvious. Wait, that's an obvious one. It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name...
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. Which particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? These. Why, it's here, of course. It's where? Where is that you're pointing? No, the frickin'... Are you fucking serious? I pointed out the... Her thing was... There's 3... Oh, the defendant had 3 aces. Oh. Shit, my bad. Are you... Like... Okay, what? At least they're not, like, penalizing me for this, but... Like, there's so much wrong with this to the point that I don't know what to select. Like... Because there are no 3 aces in one of the hands. But it also proves that Wright lost. I don't... What am I presenting here? Okay. Alright. I guess I just had to choose the right spot to select. Miss Orley, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. As you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
Eek. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts, Mr. Gavin. Oh, Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. Cards? Mr. Payne?
Yes?
The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which one of these hands is more suspicious? I'm throwing myself off here because they said that he had 3 aces and like he was cheating, but his hand was garbage. I want to view Phoenix's hand. Let's start with Mr. Wright's hand. The defense would like to view the defendant's hand. Very well. Mr. Payne, your evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Received evidence, Wright's hand. Well, now, let's see what we have here. Right, sir. You're going to teach me about rotating? When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials in the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. I already figured out how to do this. Crap, alright. Card backs are red. For some reason, I thought they were using blue cards in that final hand. Didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Huh? Oh, Which was it now? So Phoenix had red cards. Was the defense found anything they would like to share with the court? Not unless you count utter confusion. Perhaps you best examine the victim's cards next. Of course, you can always give these cards another look. Oh, do I examine the other hand of cards? Yeah. Guess I'll examine the victim's cards. Your Honor, the defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's hand. Granted, but make it quick, Mr. Justice. Don't worry, justice is always swift. Yo! What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color.
That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand.
What was that, Miss Orley?
No, yet. I merely said, I have eek.
Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend. A comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss Orley? She's the cheater. Professional, I'd wager. A professional when it's easy to goddamn see the back of the cards. Like Phoenix could have seen that from a mile away. It sticks out just looking at his hand. Order! Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean of her mistake. Oh my god. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. But that's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. Oh. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you? Time for justice. There are 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Eek! Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga Orley? And it appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor, it seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. But, Mr. Wright? You can't end this trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous. Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before. The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You used different colors and they still got mixed up. We used a red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? I mean, if it was before or during, Phoenix would have seen it. It had to have been after. Perhaps it happened after the murder.
What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Yeah, because like I said, Phoenix would have seen that, like, sent across.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes. A simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orley. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? It was her, because Phoenix was upstairs making the call. Why, it must have been Olga Orley who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating. That does make some sense. Sorry. But there's a problem with that explanation.
Huh?
The swap card was from the wrong deck. Yes, a blue card was stuck into a red hand. Mixing the card from the wrong deck when the backs are different colors. Remember that you're talking about Olga Orley. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would make such a novice mistake? Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake. Give it a little more thought, Apollo. Right. Well, then with three people, it was Phoenix? Mr. Wright, it was you, wasn't it? And why would I do such a thing? Well, because, maybe you were trying to hide the fact that you cheated? That would make sense, but the swap card was in the victim's hand. I'm a nice guy, but I'm not that nice. Come to think of it, he would like a motive for helping his opponent to win. But who's the third person? One who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Heh. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're all about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand, and that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card, because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But here's one problem. According to our case record, that person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit, possibility of a fourth person. Well, it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial is proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose it is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Certainly, Your Honor. Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes. Well, this took a turn. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well, now, I think you know the answer to that. Being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. That's the spin-off coming later. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoph. Justice. Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chamber, so carry on without me. Oh, they got beef? You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright? You're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Really? I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago. What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never... Honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Wanna know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like the trial law? Or is like trial law? Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who noticed that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? but you will soon. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You shouldn't know. I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. Or was that him saying that? Whatever. What? I knew it. I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. It's time. Real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued. Ooh. Sorry for keep readjusting in my chair. I'm feeling uncomfortable for some reason. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Next time, we go to the next part of the trial. I don't really know what else to say about that. It's an interesting story so far. Yeah, I don't quite know what's going on. So apparently there is a fourth person. I thought it would be a shoo-in for Olga to be the killer, but I guess not. And Wright is still withholding some information, but it's probably information that would incriminate him, which is why he needs us to defend him. And we will do that next time. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. And I will see you next time for some more Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Goodbye.